ॐ तपस्वाध्यायशुश्रूषा कृष्णपूजारतं मुनिम् विश्वेशभीष्टदं वन्दे परिव्राट्चक्रवर्तिनम् श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः. Hari Om to all. Welcome back to Bhagavad Gita session. Today we are going to look at Bhagavad Gita chapter 1 verse 42. In the previous verse we saw Arjuna spoken about war, sin, family destruction, women's safety and Varna Sankara. Still, Krishna does not interrupt. That silence is troubling Arjuna. So, Arjuna thinks maybe Krishna is not responding because I have not shown the full chain of consequences. So, he goes deeper, not only into the society, but into the what holds society together. What is that? Elders, values, rituals, and ancestral continuity. And he says, when society collapses, it is not just bodies that fall. Even the unseen support system collapses. That is what he is describing now. Let us look at the verse first. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 1, verse 42. Sankaro narakayaiva kulagnanam kulasya cha patanti pitaro hesham luptapindodakakriyah. Sankaraha, social and psychological confusion. Narakaya eva, leads to hell alone. Kulagnanam, for the destroyers of the family system. Kulasyacha, and for the whole lineage too. Patanti, fall down. Pitaraha, ancestors. He, indeed, yesham, of these people. Lupta, lost or discontinued. Pinda, rice offering. Udaka, water offering. Kriyaha, prescribed rite or prescribed rites. Simple meaning of this verse: when social order collapses and Varna confusion spreads, it leads the destroyers of families and the entire lineage towards hell. Because the ancestral ritual like Shraddha and Tarpana stop, their forefathers also fall. Let us look at a deeper explanation of this verse. Sankaro narakayaiva. When Arjuna says Sankaro narakaya eva, he is not merely speaking about hell after the death. He is describing what happens when social order collapses here itself. We have seen Varna Sankara means confusion of roles. Every stable society rests on four natural responsibilities. Those who inclined towards knowledge and guidance. Those who inclined towards protection and courage. Those who inclined towards production and wealth management or wealth creation. And those who inclined towards service and support. These are four functional tendencies rooted in human nature. When each of them functions with integrity, society remains balanced. But when confusion spreads, when wisdom loses authority, protectors lose character, wealth loses ethics, and service loses dignity, the structure weakens. People start acting against their nature, driven by impulse or greed rather than responsibility. Institutions lose clarity. Most of the rituals look like blind faith because their spirit is gone. Discipline appears oppressive because character has declined. So, in the society, when order collapses, consequences blur. When consequences are blurred, restraint disappears. When restraint disappears, human impulses take over. Trust declines, fear rises, families weaken, leadership becomes opportunistic. The vulnerable people suffer first. This psychological and social destabilization itself becomes Naraka, a living hell. So, Arjuna's warning is not emotional exaggeration. It is civilizational insight. When dharma declines, society does not collapse first in noise. It collapses in clarity. And once clarity is gone, chaos follows. Therefore, protecting dharma means aligning action with one's nature and responsibility. Where dharma is preserved, stability returns. Where stability exists, society rises instead of descending into hell. So, we have to protect dharma, and we should not be the reason for this Varna Sankara. That is why I don't want to go into the war. This is what Arjuna is time and again saying with Krishna. After that, he uses one word, Kulagnanam Kulasya cha. When Arjuna says Kulagnanam and then adds Kulasya cha, he is expanding the scope of responsibility. Kulagna means one who destroys the kula, the lineage, the ethical and cultural backbone of the society. But Kulasyacha indicates that it is not only individuals who perish. The very structure of the kula itself collapses. Because a kula is more than a body line. It carries traditions, values, rituals, discipline, and moral continuity from one generation to the next generation. When elders fall and guidance disappears, that living current is interrupted. Those who cause such destruction are not merely killing the bodies, they are breaking the continuity. Arjuna fears that by engaging in this war, they may become the cause of that rupture. Even if this war is politically justified, the social cost may be unbearable. If the protectors themselves becomes destroyers of their own lineage, who will preserve the values that sustain society? This is the bigger question in Arjuna's mind. Okay, some may argue in future everything will be okay. Yes, even if future generations eventually rebuild, there will be a long period of instability before recovery. During that time, chaos spreads, traditions weaken, and identity becomes blurred. Rebuilding of many buildings is easier than rebuilding the trust. We can create lots of bigger mansions, but trust won't be there. Restoring the land is easier than restoring the moral clarity. So, when Arjuna says Kulagnanam Kulasyacha, he is expressing a profound anxiety. Not fear of death, but fear of becoming responsible for the collapse of civilizational order. His hesitation is not cowardice. It is the voice of someone who understands that war destroys more than lives. It can destroy the ethical spine of the society itself. That is why he is afraid of this war. What happens if elders are gone? He says, when elders die in war, the loss is not only emotional, it is civilizational. Because elders are the carriers of memory, experience, restraint, and moral instructions. When they fall, younger generations lose guidance. Respect weakens and moral clarity fades. When adharma becomes normalized, elders, the remaining elders who speak of righteousness, are no longer honored. They are dismissed or even treated as obstacles or outsiders. Any advice sounds like interference. If someone says you have to do this and that discipline feels like oppression. Slowly, reverence turns into neglect. The decline then becomes practical. The younger generation may fail to feed, shelter, or care for those who once protected them. Gratitude weakens, duty disappears. And Arjuna sees the deeper consequences here. If elders are not cared for while alive, will their children perform shraddha after death? If living responsibility collapses, spiritual continuity collapses with it. This is Arjuna's fear, not just death in war, but the breaking of the sacred link between generations. When that chain is destroyed, society loses its roots and decline begins quietly from within. When war happens, that is what Arjuna says in next line. Patanti pitaro hyesham lupta pindodaka kriyaha. Arjuna goes one step deeper here. Patanti pitaro hyesham. The ancestors of such people fall. Means the people who destroyed the lineage and destroyed the civilization, those people, the ancestors of such people, fall. what does he mean here? When elders die in war, it is not just individuals who are lost. The chain of transmission breaks. The knowledge chain breaks because there is no one to teach. The ritual chain breaks because there is no one to perform. The moral chain breaks because there is no one to guide. So, younger generation grows without anchors. When living respect disappears, post-death remembrance also fades. If children do not care for elders while they are alive, how can you expect they perform Shraddha after death? If gratitude weakens in life, it will not suddenly appear in ritual. This is the emotional root of Arjuna's fear. He is not speaking mechanically about ceremonies. He is speaking about continuity. The next line, that line continues, Lupta Pindodaka Kriyaha. He especially talks about Shraddha. The offering of Pinda and water ceases. Nobody will do the Shraddha. He says when rituals stop, ancestral continuity weakens. When we do Shraddha, we remember at least 3 generations. When you stop doing those things, the ancestral continuity weakens. If you are not going to do the Shraddha, then it doesn't mean that the ancestors starve physically. But because the living connection between generation is disconnected, because you are not remembering your forefathers, your ancestors. That is why he hints that Shraddha is essential thing to remember our ancestors. Before we go further, let us understand what is Shraddha actually means. Most of the times when Shraddha comes, people think that day it is belongs to our father or mother and we have to do the Shraddha. Yes, that is correct, and we will do the Shraddha and we will do the Pinda Pradana and Tarpana, and most of the times mechanically we will do that and finish it off. That is fine. Some people who are not performing the Shraddha, they have a logic. Why we have to perform the Shraddha? How can the food offered here reach those who have already left their bodies? This question itself arises from a materialistic assumption that nourishment is only physical. But our tradition never claims that Shraddha is about feeding physical body. The departed souls exist in Sukshma Sharira, a subtle condition beyond gross conception. So offering Pinda Pradana and Tilatarpana, it is not considered as feeding them. They are not going to eat that particular pinda and they are not going to drink that water materialistically, directly. We have to understand that. When we perform a yajna, do the devas eat that physical fire? No. The fire is only a sacred medium. The offering reaches through mantra, intention, and divine order. In the same way, Shraddha is not a transaction of food. We offer the pinda here and they will eat there. It is not like that. It is an act of invocation. It is a prayer addressed to the Pitrudevatas, the guardians of the ancestral realm. When we do the Pinda Pradana and Tilatarpana, we are requesting those Pitrudevatas that if any obstacles hinder the onward journey of our forefathers, they may be removed. We are praying to Pitrudevatas, not directly offering those pinda to our ancestors. There are divine regulators. They take care of our Pitrudevatas. There are main 3 regulators: Yama, Soma, and Kavyavahana. Along with their other classes of Pitrudevatas also there. Matsya Purana says, Agnishwathas tatha Saumyaha Havishmantastatoshmapaha Sukarino Barhishadaha Tathanyeva Ajyapaspunaha Santarpyaha Pitaro Bhaktya Satilodaka Chandanaihi. Agnishwatha, Barhishadas, Saumyas, Havishmantas, Ushmapas, Sukalas, and Ajyapas. These are the 7 other regulators of the Pitrudevatas. They reside in Pitruloka, take care of our ancestors' needs. So when we do Pinda Pradana and Tilatarpana, we have to remember all these ancestral guardians will take care of our ancestors. And we have to do the Tarpana. Satilodaka Chandanaihi. So, these are the 7, plus along with those 3, they are taking care of our ancestors. That is why we do the Shraddha. When we do Pinda Pradana, we are not directly offering Pinda to our forefathers. We have to remember, the universe is not chaotic. It is administered. Shraddha is our participation in that administration. Not as controllers, but as grateful descendants. Again, some people may argue, if karma is individual, how can a son's act influence the father's destiny? Yes, it is true that karma is personal. Shraddha does not cancel karma. When we are going through bad phase of our life, we pray. We know that karma is not going to be erased, but still we believe effect will be less. That is why we pray. Same way, Shraddha is also removes any obstacles hinder the onward journey of our forefathers. That is why we do the Shraddha. Shraddha functions as assistance within divine law. Children are not separate from lineage. They are its continuation. Children are lineage continuation. When a priest performs a ritual, most of the times he performs on behalf of us. Still, we receive the result. So, representation is a valid principle in Vedic thought. In the same way, descendants stand as representatives of their lineage. Shraddha is also not an isolated ritual. It is one part of the Pancha Yajnas. There are 5 yajnas we have to perform daily. Scriptures clearly says everybody should do 5 yajnas in daily basis. Brahma Yajna, Deva Yajna, Manushya Yajna and Bhuta Yajna. What is Brahma Yajna? Adhyapanam Brahma Yajna. Study and teaching and honoring the knowledge. Swadhyaya pravachanabhyam na pramaditavyam. Daily read scriptures and practice it and implement those things in life. And teach the scriptures and teach other people to implement those things in their life. Deva Yajna, Homa, Puja, Japa, Tapa, everything comes under this. Pitru Yajna, Tarpana, daily we have to do the Tarpana. Not only Amavasya day. Brahma Yajna is there. Vaishwadeva Brahma Yajna. Daily we have to do the Tarpanas to Rishis, Acharyas and Pitru Devatas. And Manushya Yajna, serving guests, serving humanity. When guest means, most of the times we think that someone who we invited. It is not that. The person who comes without invitation, he is a guest actually. We have to treat them like a god. But because of materialistic world, we have a different opinion about someone who comes without invitation. Someone who is coming without invitation to attend your program, it means he has a great respect for you. He is great concerns for you. But we think this person came for food. He doesn't have any self-respect. Without invitation, he came. It's a little bit unacceptable thing, and we have to see that. If someone, you think that someone is coming as a normal person, you can accept or assume like that. If someone is learned person, he is well versed in Shastra and Vedanta. One day you are having something, some celebration or anything at your home. That person comes just to bless you. You have to be overwhelmed by that particular grace. Because you got a person you never ever expected. That person came to your house to bless you. You have to be happy. You have to make him sit. You have to respect him. Give whatever you want to give. Even if you don't want to give anything, just give him 2 fruits and take his blessings, and he will go away. But if someone comes like that, we most of the time think that this person came for money. This person is doing this for money. We think very loosely at times. Leave it, because we will see that those things will come in future verses, and when it comes, I will explain it clearly why we have to do those things. Basically, Manushya Yajna means serving guests or serving humanity. And Bhuta Yajna, offering to beings, caring for living beings. Birds, pets, and other species. You have to put some water outside. We have to put some grains outside. They eat and they will go. That is Bhuta Yajna. Even every day, if you cook something, put it in a bowl and put it outside. That is Bhuta Yajna. Whatever you are eating, just put little bit of rice or whatever you cook. Just put it in a bowl or some paper or some plate. Put it outside. All these squirrels or birds, they will come and they will eat and go away. So that is Bhuta Yajna. These 5 from cycle of gratitude. It is we are thanking the universe for bringing us to this universe. It is a gratitude rituals. Brahma Yajna and Homa and Nruyajna, that Manushya Yajna, Bhuta Yajna, we will understand. Brahma Yajna, when it is just for the study and teaching, that is also we can understand. But this Deva Yajna and Pitru Yajna, it is not related to this world. That is why people are confused. That is why people are hesitant to accept this thing. If we do the Havan, something is going to happen. If we offer Pinda, something is going to happen. We don't want to believe in it. Because we haven't seen. We haven't seen Swarga, we haven't seen Naraka, we did not see Pitruloka. So that is why we did not see, that is why we won't believe then invisibility does not mean non-existence. We haven't seen so many things in universe, but they are exist. The same way, if we did not see, it doesn't mean it's non-existence. Okay, whatever you are saying, we can accept a little bit. But Gita says itself in future verses, Chine punye martya lokam vishanti. When merit or good deeds are over, exhausted, the very human beings return back to the earth. So, there is no point of doing Shraddha. Why so? Why perform Shraddha regularly? This question comes. For that, answer is because Shraddha is not merely about determining afterlife placement. It is about remembering that we did not begin with ourselves. Our body, our culture, our language, our opportunities all came through a chain of lives before us. Shraddha is gratitude ritualized. It humbles the ego that says, I built myself. It reminds us that we are a continuation, not a beginning. When this remembrance fades, arrogance grows. When gratitude disappears, continuity breaks. And when continuity breaks, society weakens spiritually long before it collapses outwardly. Shraddha is not superstition. It is reverence. It is the acknowledgement that life flows through generations. It keeps alive the sacred conversation between past and present. And when that conversation continues, society remains rooted. When that conversation stops, decline begins quietly from within. So, Arjuna's concern is not superstition. It is structural. If war destroys elders, guidance collapses. If guidance collapses, rituals declines. If ritual declines, remembrance fades. If remembrance fades, identity weakens. And when identity weakens, civilization slowly erodes from within. So, patanti pitaroh kesham lupta pindodaka kriyaha is not just about ancestors falling. It is about a society losing its memory. Also, very individual is falling by not practicing the rituals. Okay, whatever you say, we will partially agree. Again, we have the same question, because we don't know there is a Swarga or Naraka. We don't know how this Papa works, Punya works. We don't believe in it. So, why we have to do all these Panchayajna and Shraddha and other rituals? Because when we don't believe in it, and if those things are not existing, then our efforts will be wasted. So we don't want to do it. Don't force us. People will argue like this. For that, Kumarila Bhatta has wonderful answer. Kumarila Bhatta presents a deep practical logic. He says, Sandhigde paralokepi kartavyo dharma sanchayah nasti chenna no hanihi asti chennasti ko hataha. Its meaning, if the afterlife is uncertain, even if you don't believe in Swarga and Naraka, if you don't accept the consequences of Papa, even if you don't agree with advantages of Punya, still accumulate the dharma anyway. If Swarga exists or Naraka exists, you lose nothing, because you did accumulate the dharma. If does not exist, Swarga is not there, Naraka is not there, still you lose nothing. But if Swarga is there, Naraka is there, the consequences of Papa is there, the advantages of Punya is there, then you did not accumulate dharma, then you are finished. So, be wise and accumulate good deeds. This is not blind belief. It is intelligent caution. Human life constantly operates on probabilities. We buy insurance for events that may never occur. We save lots of money for future we have not seen. Why then reject spiritual responsibility? Simply because the subtle realm is not visible. So, it is not going to take anything extra from your day-to-day routine. Do something. Dharma's benefit is immeasurable. Even though if you are not going to agree with that those Swarga, Naraka exists, still it is better to do something. Because if it is not there, you are not going to lose anything. If it is true, all those things are there, the irreversible consequences are very high. So, Be wise and accumulate good deeds. Kumarila Bhatta's reasoning is not fear-based. It is rational humility. When the stakes are existential, wisdom chooses the safer path. It is not weakness, it is prudence. So, okay, whatever you are saying, we can accept it, but we don't know what to do, what not to do. Then again, we have to understand from Krishna himself. Krishna in Bhagavad Gita itself, he says, Tasmat Shastram Pramanante Karya Karya Vyavasthitu. Therefore, let scriptures be your authority in determining what is to be done and what is not to be done. Krishna does not say act based on impulse or emotion or public opinion. He directs Arjuna to anchor himself in Shastras. Therefore, Arjuna's hesitation is not confusion born of weakness. It arises from scriptural grounding. He fears becoming the cause of adharma because he has been trained to measure action against Shastra. His crisis is moral, not emotional. So, both Kumarila's caution and Krishna's instruction remind us something profound. When truth concerns the unseen and the eternal, humility is intelligence. Acting with dharma is never a loss. Acting without, maybe it is. So, even though if we have certain reservations for certain rituals and rules and regulations, still it is better to practice something rather than ignoring it. So, Bhagavad Gita chapter 1 verse 42 shows Arjuna's concerns very clearly. Arjuna sees a clear chain of consequences. War leads to family collapse. Family collapse leads to social collapse. Social collapse leads to ritual neglect. Ritual neglect leads to spiritual decline. Spiritual decline leads to generational suffering. His reasoning is structured and sincere. He is not afraid of himself. He is afraid of becoming the cause of irreversible chaos. From this perspective, he concludes that it is better not to fight than to destroy the very fabric of dharma. Krishna again silent. He is not uttering a single word. In the next verse onwards, Arjuna goes even little deeper. What happens next? That we will see in the next class. Until that, God bless you all. Hari Om. See you all in the next class. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. Sarve santu niramayah. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Ma kaschit dukkha bhag bhavet. Om Shantihi. Om Shantihi. Om Shantihi. Om Sham.